Subscribe to the MTL World at Malworld 1 YouTube channel. Swallowed Star 2, Land of Origin. Volume 11, The Hunyuan Blade Dao. Chapter 418, Luo Feng. 33rd of Volume 11. Translator, Shadow Knight AK. Editor, Shadow Knight AK. A colossal creature with hundreds of slender appendages lay sprawled across an origin world, resembling a tiny ant clinging to an egg. It cautiously extended a tendril of its power into the origin world, careful not to disturb the countless living beings within. With meticulous precision, it orchestrated a series of calamities, absorbing the fear emotions of the inhabitants and channeling them into its life core. These origin world beings may be weak, but their intelligence is remarkably high, and their emotions are also extraordinarily strong, it thought, absorbing the fear emotions into its life core. During the innate Hunyuan life form faction's invasion of the practitioner faction, their primary objective was the brutal consumption of origin cores of the origin worlds. The value of the countless beings within the origin worlds was largely overlooked, with only a fraction of their potential exploited. For instance, Mo-Guc devoured the souls of over 6 million origin world beings. In the chaos of war, resource utilization had always been inefficient. However, within the world clusters, under their control, every origin world was now being exploited to its absolute limit. The emotions, desires, flesh, and souls of the beings in the origin world all were resources. The origin world's origin core itself was the most precious resource, to be used with utmost frugality. No, we can't fight back. I can create entire cosmos, yet I'm powerless against this calamity. Why? No. Within the origin world, a cosmic cluster faced its final catastrophe. After countless struggles and failures, consumed by utter despair, it was completely annihilated. And this cosmic cluster was merely the tip of the iceberg for the entire origin world. Outside the origin world, the colossal creature lay patiently, intent on maximizing the fear of these beings. This was the key to maximizing the nourishment it would receive from consuming them. Moreover, it aimed for sustainable consumption. Dividing the origin world into multiple regions, it would systematically induce fear and devour each region in turn. By the time it finished, the first region consumed would have already given birth to new life. A continuous cycle, perpetually fueling its power. My contributions entitle me to feast on the lifeforms of this origin world for 100,000 epochs. However, I must not touch the origin core of the origin world. This world-level Hunyuan lifeform was well aware of this. The origin core of the origin world was typically reserved as sustenance for the most esteemed world-level Hunyuan lifeforms and even some Hunyuan ancestors. The world-level Hunyuan lifeform froze, spotting a black-robed man materializing out of thin air before it. The mere sight of this man filled it with primal dread. Practitioner Lord. As a core member of its race, valued by the Hunyuan ancestors, it had already learned of the most terrifying entities in the infinite Hunyuan space. The 8 practitioner lords were beings its entire race could not afford to provoke. Whoosh! A ripple swept through the world-level Hunyuan lifeform, instantly severing its life force. It died on the spot, its physical body and life core remaining intact, yet utterly devoid of vitality. Even though it was just one of Luo Feng's clone, and possessed only 1/10,000th of his full energy reserves, it didn't even needed to exert much effort to eliminate this world-level Hunyuan lifeform. If it had been his main combat clone, a mere glance would have annihilated all such creatures. With a wave of his hand, Luo Feng stored the world-level Hunyuan lifeform corpse. At his current level, he could create spatial dimensions with a mere thought, making storing vast quantities of corpses effortless. In fact, with a little effort, he could even create an entire world. The countless worlds of the practitioner faction, far surpassing the number in the origin world, are created by the lords. After having mastered the highest levels of the Dao, their Dao could easily become the origin core of a world. However, the lifeforms born in these countless worlds generally possessed far weaker potential compared to those of the origin world. This origin world. Luo Feng gazed at the origin world before him, and with a thought, he projected a weak clone into its interior. His clone allowed itself to be suppressed by the origin world's rules, its power restricted to the upper limits of the chaos realm. Resisting the origin world's suppression would trigger violent conflicts, easily creating energy storms capable of annihilating all life within the world. The world-level Hunyuan lifeforms also faced similar limitations when confronting an unowned origin world, although they could still force their way in and slowly absorb the origin world's origin core. Inside the origin world, Luo Feng's Chaos Realm-level clone stood in a void, gazing at the countless universes stretching into the distance. This origin world has been deliberately destroyed. The core continent shattered long ago, giving rise to over 1 million primordial universes, Luo Feng observed. Unlike the origin continent, this world lacked a central core, instead, it consisted entirely of countless universes. The energy was too dispersed, allowing over 1 million primordial universes to form easily, but the lifeforms within them remained universally weak. Even the strongest beings only reached the level of eternal true God. And upon reaching that level, they would soon face the death tribulation. A million primordial universes, all their lifeforms. All of them are innate Hunyuan lifeforms food. Luo Feng's eyes turned icy. With a wave of his hand, a white-haired woman appeared beside him, her gaze wary. Who are you? Have you come to kill me? She asked, her eyes fixed on Luo Feng. I know that after taking the final step, I'll soon face the death tribulation. But even in death, I deserve to know the truth. Luo Feng regarded her with admiration. You are truly remarkable, he praised. The white-haired woman remained cautious. After having risen from weakness step by step, she had endured countless terrifying trials. What seemed like a pleasant surprise often concealed even greater despair. As her power grew, so did her despair, leaving her with no hope of transcendence at all. An eternal true God with the spiritual will reaching the threshold of a God King, Luo Feng marveled. When I was at peak of eternal true God, it was like this. The white-haired woman gazed at Luo Feng, listening silently. Perform, just keep performing. I won't believe any of your pleasant surprises. I'll always assume the worst possible outcome in every situation. Your spiritual will cultivation method is truly unique, Luo Feng observed, slaying your own soul. And you've done it 3 times. With a single glance, he saw her entire life, from birth to the present moment, with perfect clarity. The one who appeared in front of him was the true form of Yi Shu. She had also created 3 clones from her own soul. Her self-developed, spiritual soul-slaying cultivation method, had granted her a God King level spiritual will even as an eternal true God. Her pain, her despair, her overwhelming emotions. All of it was absorbed by the mountain of destruction at the core of the abyss of destruction. Such intense emotions are the very fuel of that place. Who are you? The white-haired woman frowned slightly, surprised that he had seen through her spiritual soul-slaying technique, with just a single glance. This origin world lies within the territory of the innate Hunyuan lifeform faction. I can't protect you here indefinitely, Luo Feng said, observing the wary young woman. Sensing her caution, he subtly influenced her mind with an invisible wave of energy. You possess exceptional talent, which is why I'm taking you with me. I can also help you evacuate the lifeforms of an entire universe. The space created by his weak clone could only safely accommodate the inhabitants of a single universe. Under Luo Feng's spiritual influence, Ishu naturally trusted him completely. She quickly selected a single universe and relocated some of her friends. Soon, Luo Feng's Chaos Realm clone activated a secret technique, teleporting all the lifeforms of the origin world across the boundary to his main combat clone, which possessed 1/10,000th of his total energy reserves and stood outside the origin world. Let's go, Luo Feng's clone said. Within his sleeve, an ordinary world had naturally formed, easily capable of housing the lifeforms of an entire universe. Luo Feng and Ishu flew together, covering vast distances. Ishu was first astonished to see that Luo Feng's sleeve could contain the lifeforms of an entire primordial universe. Then, she witnessed their unimaginable speed as they traversed countless space-time dimensions. Luo Feng glanced at her, and a flood of information poured into Ishu's mind details about the practitioner faction and other factions, giving her a clear understanding of the current situation. Your spiritual will has great potential. Would you be willing to become my provisional disciple? Luo Feng asked, his gaze fixed on her. This disciple is willing. Ishu replied, her voice trembling with excitement. Luo Feng nodded. At this moment, his 3,916 clones were all in action, moving at varying speeds. The intense emotions they absorbed into the mountain of destruction indicated individuals with exceptionally strong spiritual power. Sadly, many of these promising young talents had already been perished, though countless members of their clans continued to fight on. Based on Luo Feng's estimates, this operation should yield over 100 provisional disciples. A colossal, serpentine creature clung to an origin world. This was none other than an infinite serpent, slowly draining the world's origin core essence. After having already begun absorbing the origin core, the origin world's interior was long since devastated. The serpentine creature turned its gaze into the distance. A figure in black robes materialized in the distance. Too late, Luo Feng murmured, frowning slightly. Even though he had only condensed this clone less than a day ago, he was still a step behind. Lord Luo Feng. The infinite serpent recognized him instantly, its body trembling. It lowered its head in profound respect. Greetings, great practitioner lord. Although it was a member of the Infinite Serpents, the most prestigious and powerful clan within the innate Hunyuan lifeform faction, but he was alone, and a lone serpent facing a practitioner lord had no choice but to show utmost deference, hoping for a sliver of survival. The surrounding space-time seemed to freeze, every trace of life chi locked in place. The serpent sensed it was even unable to teleport back to its homeland, the infinite world. Lord Luo Feng, I am of the Infinite Clan. Huff. With a ripple of energy, the world-level Hunyuan Infinite Serpent's eyes dimmed, its life force severed. Who dares kill my clan member? A furious voice roared across vast stretches of space-time, distorting the very fabric of reality. At the other end of the twisted space-time, a colossal figure loomed within the infinite world. Luo Feng, clad in black robes, glanced over indifferently. It was me. Luo Feng. The colossal figure, who had been preparing to cross space-time using the infinite world, froze at the sight of the black-robed figure. Luo Feng. The man who injured Kafusho, a top 10 powerhouse, with just 3 strikes. Whose strength and abilities surpassed any Hunyuan ancestor in the innate Hunyuan lifeform faction. One of the highest level beings in the entire infinite Hunyuan space. And he has only recently become a lord. His growth has been terrifyingly rapid. Lord Luo Feng, what's going on? Why did you kill a member of the infinite clan? The colossal figure's tone softened considerably. Luo Feng glared coldly. Already in a foul mood for arriving too late, he had no patience for this weak Hunyuan ancestor's whining. Are you asking me for a reason? Luo Feng demanded, his gaze piercing. The colossal figure dared not argue further. The distorted space-time returned to normal. A bunch of scum. Luo Feng's eyes were icy. In the innate Hunyuan lifeform faction, only 5 beings were truly immortal. The remaining 100+ Hunyuan ancestors were all vulnerable to death. My heart of destruction still isn't strong enough, Luo Feng thought silently. Blank. End of chapter. Subscribe to MTL World at Malworld 1 YouTube channel.